Dear Cheryl, so great to hear from you lo these many months ago. I hope your MFA program is treating you well thus far. I am sad to report that I was recently sitting in a classroom watching Straub Huillet's Too Early, Too Late and pressing my thumbnails against one another with some not inconsiderable force when they slipped and I inflicted a nasty paper cut type injury to my nail bed. I'm about to start my final semester and I feel like I'm just about ready to begin grad school. I'm not entirely sure what my program has done for/to me/my art. Only time will tell, and there's not much left. Probably something like these somewhat disappointing vegetarian hot dogs. Or I could discuss the musty vinegar smell of a basement full of 16mm film equipment and photochemicals. It may indeed smell like this concert venue called The Dark Room, although it's really just the unfinished basement of a house in River West and definitely does not conform to any sort of fire code. It's a difficult question. Most places I've lived have a very specific smell, one that sits in the back of my head and colors my experiences there. But Milwaukee smells like other places. Certain times of year, in certain parts of town, when the wind is just right, it smells exactly like my memories of Nicaragua. A heady aroma of charcoal grills, wood smoke, automobile exhaust, and rotting fruit. Once in a while, I catch a fleeting olfactory glimpse of what might be Russian olive, an invasive species that runs rampant in northern Colorado. I never used to be able to smell it when I lived there, but now that I live elsewhere, it overwhelms me whenever I visit home. Sometimes, yes, Milwaukee smells like Sioux City, whose longtime residents have dubbed it Sewer City for a reason, although actually I always thought it smelled more like rancid soup. To my recollection, Chicago smelled like steam and ice and spent jet fuel. Those are here too, though not so sharp on the nose. Milwaukee smells like rain. Milwaukee smells like the bus. Milwaukee smells, perhaps, like a question I haven't figured out how to ask yet. But for Pete's sake, what place can I definitively say doesn't smell like a question I haven't figured out how to ask yet? Iowa probably doesn't, but who's to say for sure? To what degree can the smell of a question be measured? Does its odor change when it is asked? What about, for instance, the pervasive stench of piss at CTA train stations as compared to the occasional but intense skunkiness of recently smoked joints at Milwaukee bus stops? Does this amount to a meaningfully probative difference between two cities, or does it reflect more on the differences between bus and train travel? This little guy thinks Milwaukee smells a lot like nectar, but he's biased. For 24 hours this summer, our part of Milwaukee smelled like an all-night bike race. A couple weeks ago, stuck on a particularly sticky edit, I walked the 5-ish blocks from my studio to the lake. There was snow on the beach that muffled all the sound, but it was surprisingly warm, and in that moment, Milwaukee didn't smell like anything at all. That feels like a certain kind of freedom, if you can figure out how to appreciate it.